Right now at 6, a suspect tied to a West Salem Quick Trip attack is under arrest.
And a mobile home is a total loss after a structure fire in rural Westby.
We're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us for News 8 Now at 6. I'm Ken Kozarowski.
And I'm Emily Brown.
The truck driver accused of slashing a man's throat at a West Salem Quick Trip is under arrest. 59-year-old Paul Stokes faces charges of second-degree recklessly endangering safety and substantial battery. On Monday night, Stokes allegedly cut another truck driver's throat at the West Salem Quick Trip on Jefferson Street before fleeing in his own semi-truck. Police identified Stokes as the suspect and put out a nationwide warrant for his arrest. Then on Tuesday, authorities in Tennessee arrested him. He's held there awaiting extradition to Wisconsin.
Forensic testimony takes center stage in Mankato as day 5 of Adam Fravel's murder trial reveals new details about Madeline Kingsbury's death. On the stand this morning, medical examiner Dr. Roz Zumwalt testified Kingsbury's body was wrapped in a gray bedsheet secured with black duct tape, materials matching those found at the couple's home. Zumwalt told jurors a towel was tied around Kingsbury's neck, indicating death by asphyxiation, though advanced decomposition made other injuries difficult to detect.
A mobile home is a total loss after a fire in Westby. Around 8:45 a.m., Westby Christiana Fire Department was called to a fire on Snowflake Curve. Crews arrived to find a mobile home fully engulfed in flames. No one was home at the time of the fire, but there were reports of pets inside. Cashton, Viroqua, and Coon Valley Fire Departments provided mutual aid, and the cause of the fire remains under investigation. In the meantime, we are officially on rain watch for the region, and it's been a long time since we've seen measurable totals, Greg.
Yeah, that thing that we just haven't seen, that liquid sunshine coming out of the sky. We're finally going to see some, but for today, it was a little bit cooler, more typical temperatures. We had some 60s out there, still a few degrees above average, but more what we should see this time of year. We had clouds and some breeze this morning, but all in all, it's turned out to be a really nice evening. Temperatures currently in the low to mid 50s area wide, maybe a few spots in the 60s. Wide look of it looks at that. There's your cold front that went through last night, well to the southeast. High pressure overhead, downstream all over into Montana and western Dakota. That is the next system that'll begin to approach our area starting tomorrow, but not this evening. We'll be just fine. We'll see conditions calm and clear with temperatures lowering back down into the 40s at both locations here as we look at the tombstones there coming through. Then overall, we're looking at similar type of conditions too as we go through Eau Claire, which you should see calm and clear conditions with temperatures lowering back into the 40s. More typically what we should see this time of year. So no, not a bad end of October evening. And overnight, it'll be a little bit colder than we've had recently. Still pretty typical temperatures to see in the 20s and to the 30s. The winds will start to turn around to the south in anticipation of that system coming in. Yes, it's been dry for quite a long time. In fact, La Crosse is now up to 31. It'll be 32 at midnight tonight. Day since we've seen measurable rain. That will end tomorrow evening, and I'll break all that down a bit later in the broadcast.
All right. Thank you, Greg.
3rd congressional candidate Rebecca Cook met with local business leaders in La Crosse today. The event, hosted by the La Crosse Area Chamber of Commerce, focused on Cook's campaign and the state of the economy in the La Crosse area. Cook says her experience as a small business owner will help her come up with ways to support local businesses.
Having ran a small business up in the Eau Claire area, that when I get to Congress, I'm really going to be advocating for our main streets and expanding opportunities for success here in La Crosse and beyond.
Congressman Derek Van Orden also participated in the Chamber of Commerce's forum on Monday.
A new executive director is taking the helm at the YWCA. Roseanne Northwood has served as the interim executive director since June, but now her title's official. She brings over 20 years of experience in nonprofit management, including helping establish the Reach Center. She says she's got plenty of goals she wants to accomplish.
It's about eliminating racism, empowering women, and honoring and promoting peace, dignity, and justice for all. And I just think that's really important. It centers the inherent dignity of each person, and that has guided my work over the years.
She adds they're hoping to add supportive housing opportunities by eliminating barriers for community members. A Holman cancer survivor is getting a special treat from John Deere.
News 8 Now's Jeremy Wall was at the John Deere factory in HorrorCon and joins us now with the story. Jeremy.
Ken and Emily, Bruce Hollis grew up driving John Deere tractors on his grandparents' farm, but never owned one of his own. His cancer diagnosis and treatment made cutting the lawn difficult and painful, which is why he was so grateful to learn he'd won a John Deere riding mower from Tractor Central.
I have always wanted a John Deere tractor.
We first introduced you to Bruce Hollis last May when he won Tractor Central's Mow Your Grass Off contest. The prize? A brand new John Deere lawn tractor. A reward enough for any of us, but for a survivor of bladder cancer, a gift within a gift. For Hollis, using a push mower was painful for him.
And I was told I was the winner of this year's contest. Couldn't believe it.
His love for John Deere tractors goes back to childhood.
John Deere's been a part of my family for years. I spent all my summers after I got out of school, from grade school clear through till the time I graduated high school. I stayed on my grandparents' farm and helped my grandfather farm. So I was in the fields every day driving these tractors.
Despite his childhood experiences, Hollis never owned one of his own, or had a real need for one until his diagnosis. And when the folks at John Deere learned the winner of their mower had such a special story to tell, they did something they don't normally do. Inviting him to tour the factory where his tractor was made and meet the folks who built it.
Actually see how they're manufactured, especially my specific mower, is just amazing.
The folks at the factory say they were amazed by Bruce Hollis.
It's a great opportunity for us to actually see and present our product to a real customer. You know, we're building these units sometimes not knowing who's going to be driving it at the end, and it's so cool to actually see real customer come through the door, sharing their stories, and see how our product is built.
Now, at the end of the tour, Hollis received a signed photo of his John Deere tractor. Another way to remember his visit, guys. Hollis also says the tractor is more comfortable than his push mower following his cancer treatment, especially with an oversized lawn. Ken and Emily?
Works out. Thank you, Jeremy.
A coffee cart program is causing buzz in the Westby community.
How the program is building confidence and life skills.
A new coffee cart program is quite popular in the Westby community.
News 8 Now's Allison Fergut has this story.
Special education students in the Westby School District are building confidence and learning life skills, one cup of joe at a time. Something good is brewing in room 2104. Last year, Nicole Baroker and her co-worker came up with the idea to create a coffee cart for their students to run. Every morning, students brew up coffee for teachers who've placed orders. They then go class to class, dropping off drinks and putting smiles on teachers' faces.
The students are learning social skills, money handling skills, barista skills on making the coffee. It's been a month into it right now, and it's been a huge success for us.
Baroker says parents have told her the coffee cart is the highlight of their kids' day. The coffee cart is in partnership with local cafe Daily Brew Co., who provides materials at cost for the cart. Now, Daily Brew says they're open to working with other area school districts to bring a coffee cart in their schools. Reporting in Westby, Allison Fergut, News 8 Now.
All right, thank you, Allison. And the group is hoping to expand to hot chocolate and tea in the coming months.
A kitchen product company reaching a deal.
And it comes just weeks after filing for bankruptcy.
And finally, we desperately need some rain, and we're definitely going to get it tomorrow evening. We'll track out those rain, show you how much we're going to get, and what the weekend looks in store. All that coming up on your first warm weather update after the break.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
Tupperware has agreed to sell itself to a group of lenders just weeks after filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
The company, known for its plastic food storage containers and sale parties, announced the tentative agreement on Tuesday. Under the deal, Tupperware says it will get $23.5 million in cash, as well as $63 million in debt relief.
In exchange, the lenders will receive all of Tupperware's intellectual property, including operating assets in the U.S. and abroad. The transaction is expected to close by the end of the month, pending court approval.
Well, as long as it doesn't go anywhere, because I have been using a lot more Tupperware because I've been making more crock pot dishes.
It is that time of year, right? You want to have something cozy and
soups and chilies, and we have some soupy weather coming our way tomorrow, Greg, actually.
More like tomorrow evening, yes, it definitely will be one of those rainy evenings for just a short amount of time, too. In the meantime, don't forget, we still got some fire danger going on before the system gets here tomorrow evening. With the winds and the relative humidity in the afternoon is really going to drop low. Something to be concerned of still with the dry vegetation out there. So that will be high yet. It'll probably drop once we see some rainfall, but still we need a lot more than what we're going to get. What we're going to get tomorrow evening looks like generally about a quarter to maybe a half for a lot of areas. There could be isolated areas. You can see some of the blue show up that could give above a half inch if we have some of the thunderstorms or a little bit of a training of the showers coming over the same area. But all in all, it's going to be pretty much widespread. Like I said, with a decent amount, but we could use a lot more. And I think next week we might see more. Severe weather-wise, there is still potential here further south. Just a level 1 down there for some marginal risk for some severe storms. We will have some thunderstorms in there. We'll have to keep an eye. The risk would be probably some small hail if we do get any of these stronger storms, but that still is pretty slim. But for tonight, we still got clear and colder conditions. It's going to be quiet and dry. Dry really pretty much for the rest of Thursday, too. Breezy, and we'll have temperatures getting back up into the 60s with that wind out of the south. Then as we go for Thursday, wet evening pretty much after about 7 p.m. But we could see some thunderstorms. And really the good news is it doesn't last all night. Really by the time you wake up to Friday morning, it's going to be pretty much gone. Overall, there's a front that went through earlier last night. We've had nice northwest winds behind it, clearing skies, high pressure. There's your system just getting into the Montana and about western Dakota area right there. That'll be coming through. So it's still got quite a bit of time to get here yet. And it really won't be here till after about 6 p.m. If we look all the way to about 4 p.m., we got all the showers well to the west of Minneapolis. You'll start to see that line approach Minneapolis probably around 6 p.m. And then this line of showers and maybe some embedded thunderstorms will get closer to Eau Claire probably about after 8. There could be a few little showers ahead of this little line too, so some of the areas might see that prior to getting this main line coming through. But definitely by 9 p.m. it should be around La Crosse area. Then as we get closer to 10, you're going to see that we're really already on the back side of it up to Eau Claire westward, so it's not going to last that long. Further south, it'll probably be closer to about midnight that we'll finally see all this push across, and you can kind of see it right there. By the time we get to midnight, it's well to the east, or 1 a.m. We're already gotten clearing skies to the west, too. So by the time you wake up Friday morning, clear skies, a northwest wind, plenty of sunshine going into Friday. Friday looks overall pretty nice with some mild conditions with temperatures in the 60s. We'll have really nice conditions going into Friday evening once again, and that extends all the way into the weekend. So highs tomorrow, we're looking at maybe mid to upper 60s, so about 10 degrees above average. That wind will pick up, so we're looking maybe 10 to 20 miles per hour out of the south. And then Friday, a little bit cooler, but still not too bad. Upper 50s. Low 60s with that northwest wind. Clouds in the morning, probably less going into the afternoon hour. And then the weekend overall is shaping up pretty good. Low to mid 60s Saturday and Sunday and dry. And then we have a system coming next weekend that does look wet, but it probably won't be until about Wednesday or Tuesday night that we see the rain. And before that, windy and potentially mid to upper 70s once again.
That's something. I mean, there's always an upper 70s or near 80 temperature and an 8.
Pretty much that's been the theme for the last 30 days, but right. We'll see if that changes once we enter November, which starts, Friday after that.
Absolutely. All right, Greg, thanks very much. Coming up next in sports, the Packers getting some input from a recently fired NFL head coach. Plus, the News 8 Play of the Week is back, and a lot of variety in this latest edition. Jacob is up next.
Bring all of the exciting action from your community. Here's News 8 Now Sports.
Well, the Packer offense has averaged a touch over 28 points per game over their last 5 contests, but they aren't getting complacent. Robert Saleh, who was fired as head coach of the Jets a couple weeks ago, was at practice today giving input about the GB offense from a defensive vantage point.
We thought it was a good idea just to bring him here, and he's helping us on the offensive side of the ball. I think that's always a good deal to have that perspective, that defensive perspective on that side of the ball. So just taking a look at some of the things we're doing.
And an interesting connection, Saleh and LaFleur were college roommates at Central Michigan, and the Packers head coach calling it a fluid situation for now. And it is Wednesday, so that means it is time to highlight some special plays over the past week. Getting us going at number 1. It is some good offense from the UW La Crosse women's soccer team against River Falls last Saturday. Nice pass by Sophie Pope, and Lucy Kwidzinski tucks it home for the goal. The Eagles would go on to win this one 5-0. At number 2, with 2 minutes left in regulation, Andre De La Rosa calls game. Fantastic footwork to create some space, and that shot is money in the bank. Holman advances in the WIAA Boys Soccer Playoffs with a 1-0 win over Altoona Fall Creek. On to number 3 we go. It's WIAA Girls State Tennis action last weekend. It was a great run by Aquinas' Kate Fortney. She finishes in 2nd place. The Blue Gold's all-time leader in career wins, painting the lines right here. Next up, some high-flying volleyball action. Check out the bunnies from West Salem's McKenna Ely. Picture-perfect swing from the lefty, and I would not want to be on the receiving end of that one right there. The Panthers would sweep Arcadia. And at number 5, this dude has been all over the field for Blair Taylor this fall. Tavian Schrammick showing he can get it done on the ground as well as through the air. 186 yards passing, 178 big ones on the ground in a 20-7 W. Voting opens shortly after the show, and it closes Friday at 5 p.m. And as always, the winner announced during the 6 p.m. show on Friday. Any plays you want to submit, send over to my email at jlenzendorf@wkbt.com. So no losers in the competition,
No,
just a
never.
winner. Yeah, some good stuff, some variety. What are you guys feeling this week?
I liked the camera work on Andrew De La Rosa.
Yeah,
Andre De La
that was
Rosa.
solid.
That was really
Tip your
good.
cap to Cade. Good stuff.
That was Cade. Yeah, good job.
Yeah, a game winner like that, that's going to have some panache to it.
I know
Right.
you're a tennis guy, though. So
I am a tennis guy, so it's nice. Gets a little love in the sports segment.
Love it.
Congratulations to Fortney. But
Mm-hmm.
oh man, it's a good mix
Another good week.
this week, man.
It is.
Well
Really.
done.
All right, make sure you vote. We'll have more. We'll have another look at your forecast right after this.
All right, tomorrow, overall, most of the day will be dry. Actually, some sun out there, more clouds, winds. We'll get back up in the 60s. The rain doesn't really arrive till after 7 p.m. or the evening hours, so most of the day should be good. Friday overall looks good once the rain ends Thursday night, and the weekend shaping up good. In fact, Monday and Tuesday of next week, we might get back up to the mid to upper
Look
70s
at that.
again.
Wild weather.
How good are these graphics from Greg?
I know,
I
aren't
know.
they great? We put
Johnny on the
extra
spot.
effort into them this year.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you at 10.